No two World Series logos are the same. Well, except for 1998 and 1999 and like 10 other different logos, but that's okay. That's okay. I am the traveling sports nerd, and today I'm going to be ranking all 51 World Series logos. Doing this in honor of the World Series starting on Friday night, New York Yankees and Los Angeles Dodgers. Figured I would release something in honor of that. This is extremely subjective. I am not an expert on these things. I tried to look for some symbolism in a lot of these logos, but a lot of this is just vibes. A lot of this is just how I feel. And if you disagree, that's okay. You let me know in the comments. And lastly, before we get started here, I found all of these logos from Chris Creamer's Sports Logos. Look them up. They are so helpful. They are such a great resource for videos like this. So go and check them out. I'll put a link down in the description for this video. Now let's get to it. Number 51, the 1977 World Series. What is going on here? Well, there's not much. Look, I love the Woody font from Toy Story, but I do not like it as a World Series logo. This doesn't do it for me. In 50th, we've got a recent one, the 2020 World Series. This logo is so boring. The gold touches are nice. I enjoy those. But otherwise, there is nothing here. There is no symbolism. There's just nothing added to this. This feels like a COVID-19 rushed logo for a COVID-19 shortened season. I legitimately wonder if this would have been a different logo had it been a normal year. That's how much I dislike this logo. In 49th, we've got the 1974 World Series. Once again, not a whole lot here. I do think the font is interesting, and I like the red and blue, but not really anything else going on. In 48th, I've got the 1979 World Series. This is essentially a copy of the 75th World Series logo. You'll see that very shortly. There is a bit of a quirky font, which is kind of cool, and I do like the baseball in the O, but I dislike the lack of a year. Most of these logos you're going to see feature the year. This and the next logo do not. I'm not a big fan of that. So, of course, 47th is going to be the 1978 World Series, very similar to the one we just saw. Same critiques apply here, like the baseball in the O, dislike the lack of a year. In 46th, we've got the 1975 World Series. I do like the shield, and I like the red, white, and blue. Otherwise, feels pretty plain to me, and there's very little symbolism here aside from the stars, maybe nods to Americana. In 45th, I've got the 2019 World Series. Font here is actually decent. I don't hate it. And while these colors are interesting, they feel a little out of place to me. That's why this one ranks so low. Where is the symbolism here? Outside of the diamond, this one just didn't hit me right. There's a thin line between simple and boring, and this one just falls on the boring side of things for me. In 44th, I've got the 2014 World Series. Love the red, white, and blue. And I think this actually looks pretty clean. It's not ugly to look at, but it does not resemble a logo. It resembles more of a word mark. It's a good start to a logo, but I need more than just words here. In 43rd, I've got the 1976 World Series. Oh my God, there is so much going on here. Not a big fan of the font. This is the first time that the trophy becomes incorporated into the logo, and I love that. You get points for that, 1976. The focus on the red, white, and blue of the 76 is a great nod to the bicentennial being that year. Really like that. Look, many of the older logos, I think, suffer from not enough going on. This one feels like the opposite to me. It feels a little disjointed, but I like some of the ideas here. In 42nd, I've got the 1995 World Series. First of many 90s logos with this similar design. And it is an iconic design. Love the script World Series, love the globe behind it, but what are these colors? What were we doing in 1995? The black and brown, it just doesn't do it for me. Not a fan. Tied for 41st, we've got the 1980 through 1986 World Series logos. The good, well, they're simple, they're clean-looking logos, they've got a nice, fun font, and look, red, white, and blue can never go wrong with these logos. There are things I like about these, but the bad, it's too repetitive. It's way too repetitive. Just a carbon copy logo for 7 years in a row. And there's really no symbolism here. You got the MLB logo, but there's no baseball. There's not really anything going on. Tied for 34th, we've got the 1998 and 1999 World Series logos. This is an angled version of the earlier 90s logos. The fall colors are a nice touch, and the 3Dification of the logos is intriguing, but I prefer the 2D design that you're going to see later on in the video that was used earlier in the 90s. Tied for 32nd, we've got 1992 through 94. These are basically identical, except the 94 logo is a little bit brighter, but otherwise these are identical logos. Script looks great, and I do like the globe in the background, but I just do not prefer when they do repetitive logos. That's gonna lower a logo in the ranking for me, even though I think it's a pretty nice logo. Same situation here, tied for 29th is the 1996 and 97 World Series. The colors do pop better on these logos, but otherwise, same critiques as the last ones here. Now tied for 27th, we've got the 1987 through 1991 World Series logos. This is my favorite of the repetitive era, as I would call them. Yes, we did get these 5 years in a row, but the incorporation of the bases to the diamonds is a nice little addition. Love the script being written in white, and then the year being written in red and blue. I think this is a really clean logo. One of the cleanest logos that I've seen for the older World Series logos. Really like this one. 22nd, I've got the 2018 World Series. This is a pretty simple logo design. The dueling pennants are what make this logo. They bumped this up by at least 10 spots for me, honestly. This logo would be just a boring word mark without the pennants, but I like the AL, NL sort of vibe going on up at the top. In 21st, I've got the 2023 World Series. Look, there are aspects of this logo that I love. I love bringing the red, white, and blue together with the gold. Incorporating the trophy is awesome, but it feels a bit disjointed from the rest of the logo. I will show you a much better iteration of this logo later on in the video. Sponsorships suck. This is the first one you see with the sponsorship, but look, welcome to the world we live in now. You're gonna have to get used to that. And hey, at least they're red and blue, right? In 20th, I've got the 2005 World Series. First of many futuristic looking logos from the early 2000s. I do like what they're going for here, but this is my least favorite of those logos. The colors, especially for the globe, are a bit too bland for me. Not a fan of 05 instead of 2005. I get why they did it design-wise, though. The stitches of the baseball encircling the logo is pretty sweet, and I could understand if you enjoy this logo just based off of that. In 19th, I've got the 2009 World Series. This one's middle of the road. It's clean and simple. I love the fall colors being incorporated and the fall leaves at the bottom. Really like this. Nothing crazy about it, but still a nice, simple, and clean logo. In 18th, I've got the 2000 World Series. I like some of the elements going on here, but once again, just feels a little disjointed to me. The triangle and the globe in the background, the baseball circumnavigating the logo, the gray, the blue, the white, the burnt orange combined. Some people might really love this one. For me, I like it, but not super strong feelings on it. In 17th, I've got the 2001 World Series logo. I like the colors of this one a little bit better than the 2000, which we just saw. That elevates it for me, even though I'm not as big a fan of this font. The colors kind of help save it for me. I also prefer the circle over the triangle background, so that's what elevates 2001 up a spot. In 16th, I've got the 2002 World Series. The colors here are even better. Red and blue focused with a hint of fall colors in the World Series 2002 word mark. I like the diamond kind of being placed over the globe as well. And I enjoy the angled font. It almost looks like I'm watching the beginning of a Star Wars movie. I don't know. I like this one. In 15th, I've got the 2004 World Series. Look, this is a little bit of a personal preference one. The colors are confusing to me. I don't really get the symbolism, but I like these colors. I enjoy the relegation of the globe to the background. Still there, but the World Series is front and center here. I like the minimalist touch at the bottom with the pennants, the MLB logo, and the 04. Even though I usually prefer seeing the full year, it just works for me on this logo. This logo just works for me. In 14th, I've got the 2016 World Series. This is a very clean logo. Really like this one. The stitches at the bottom are what give this logo a little bit of flavor, a little bit of life. It would be too plain of a logo without the baseball stitches at the bottom. So sometimes simple works, and this one works for me. In 13th, I've got the 2010 World Series. Love the colors of this logo. This one just gives off fall classic vibes. The home plate with the dueling fall leaves is a lovely touch, and this is just a really nice logo. In 12th, I've got the 2003 World Series. To me, this is the best of the 2000 through 2005 stretch of globes. The Golden Rays are a nice touch for commemorating the 100th anniversary of the World Series. In 11th, I've got the 2008 World Series. A lot to love here. The fall colors are great. The font, really nice. The addition of Fall Classic at the bottom, great. The dueling fall leaves on home plate are sweet. To me, this is a logo that just screams October baseball. Love this logo. And now we're into the top 10. Here in 10th is the 2012 World Series. Bit of personal bias here, maybe as a Tigers fan with this one, but I really like it. The light shade of red, some may call it pink, and the blue, they complement each other really well, and I like that. I like the World Series being in bold and front and center. And yet another logo where you've got the dueling fall leaves at home plate. It became a little bit of a pattern in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and it's a pattern that I really enjoy. Really like this motif. In 9th, I've got the 2015 World Series. Love a logo that incorporates the trophy. I'm not a big fan of the color silver dominating throughout. So the trophy is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. The trophy kind of lifts this logo into the top 10 for me. Really, really like it. In 8th, I've got the 2007 World Series. There's a lot for me to love about this one. The focal point of this logo is the circle on the left that has 4 quadrants. You've got the pennants in one, you've got the baseball in one, you've got the globe in one, and then where there would be a 4th quadrant, you've got the World Series kind of jutting out from the circle. This is a really cool design to me. This one works. Really big fan. In 7th, I've got the 2006 World Series. This is my favorite of the globe logos. Once again, maybe my Tigers bias is coming in here, but just really like this one. I love the red and the blue sort of intersecting on each side. Like that the MLB logo is front and center here. And the font, I think it's a cool sort of futuristic font. I'm a big fan of this one. In 6th, I've got the 2013 World Series. The colors are great. I love the incorporation of the pennants, and not just the incorporation of the pennants, but the way that they are front and center in this logo. A lot of other logos, the pennants are usually like maybe stuffed at the bottom or a little bit of a small little addition to them. This logo, the focal point is the pennants. And I think that's really sweet considering you can't make the World Series without snagging a pennant. So really like that one. The font I think is really good. Like the Fall Classic at the bottom. This is a great logo. In 5th, I've got the 2022 World Series. This is such an underrated logo to me. I love the red, white, and blue combining with the gold. The focal point, once again, is the pennants, but they do something that I haven't seen at all before. Instead of the red and the blue for the American League and the National League, you've got the gold and the silver. The symbolism here is fantastic. Well, what's the symbolism here? Well, yes, both teams are going to win a pennant to get to the World Series, but in the end, only one team walks away with the World Series trophy, and one team borderline gets the gold pennant and one gets the silver pennant. Obviously, you still have your league championship, of course, but if you're the team that finishes runner-up, it's like that's your silver pennant. Yeah, you still got your pennant, but you came in second. The gold pennant is like you won your league and you won the World Series. You won the World Championship. Love the symbolism of this logo. Sponsorship at the bottom be damned. This is a top 5 logo for me. In fourth, I've got the 2021 World Series. This one, pretty simple. Love the bold font. The meshing of the baseball and the globe is what wins this logo for me. This is such a cool way to do this. The stitches of the baseball on top of the globe. I also want to add that there's something funny about this logo to me. Critiques from outside of America may be that the World Series is called the World Series. Why is it called the World Series when it's only American teams, maybe one Canadian team playing? Fair enough. Even though it's the World Series and you've got the globe on there, I like that the vast majority of it is the United States, Canada, Mexico, some of the Caribbean countries, and a little bit of the top of South America, which, like, look, outside of Japan, you've pretty much covered the vast majority of baseball players with this map here. So I think that's kind of funny. And I just think the focus on the Americas here is appropriate and well done. And of course, I love the colors here. Red, white, and blue. Can't go wrong with that. In third place, we've got the 2011 World Series. This logo is unique. They took a swing on this one, and it was a home run for me. This one really works. The fall leaves are incredibly unique. Yes, we've got older logos in the video where they have a little bit of the leaves or the leaves on home plate at bottom. At this one, it is front and center. You got the leaves flanking the World Series. The fall colors work here, you know? When you've got the leaves being such a focal point of your logo, of course you're going to go all in on the fall aesthetic. This is a great logo. In second place in the runner-up spot is the 2017 World Series. Look, this is a simple logo here. I love the incorporation of the trophy. I love the touches of gold added to the blue word mark. This is a crisp and clean logo. Not too much else to say about it, just a big fan of it. And before I reveal number 1, real quickly, thank you so much for watching if you've watched this far. Just want to ask you to please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this kind of stuff. Okay, thank you. Back to the video now. In first place, the 2024 World Series. Yes, recency bias be damned. I am calling this year's World Series the best logo in the history of the World Series. It's crazy, right? Sponsorship be damned. I know that it has Capital One at the bottom. I don't care. This is so great. That is my only problem, is the sponsor. Otherwise, it's perfect. I love the red, white, and blue coming together with the gold as well. The font is dynamic. It's beveled. I love the look of that. The font is just, I love this font. And then the trophy. What last year's design got wrong is putting the trophy all the way off to the side. It felt disjointed. The 2024 logo gets it right. They put the trophy in a spot where it's coming out of the logo. I love this. This is such a great logo, and I don't know, maybe it's recency bias, but I truly think this is the best World Series logo that we've ever had. I think they knocked it out of the park with this one. So those are my rankings. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, there's going to be disagreements here. I welcome them. Please let me know in the comments what was your favorite logo that you saw. What's your favorite World Series logo? Let me know who's your favorite team. Who are you rooting for in this World Series here? Thank you so much for watching. I am the Traveling Sports Nerd, and I will see you next time.